What's up, everybody? This is Devin White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to your Week 4 LCC Gameday podcast. I'm your host here, Billy. I'm here with my co-host, Eddie. And we're here to talk about your Week 4 matchups. But first, we're going to go ahead and recap on what happened in Week 3. A lot of crazy things, some injuries, and some upsets. Let's get into it. You can go ahead and start us off, Eddie.
Yeah, we got Eastside Brawlers with a dub after Afternoon Delights. You guys said I was dumb for making that pick. Step Bros Fantasy Company over Roebuck. I did not see that coming. Shuttlecock's got the win over Hunter of Champions. Barnyard beat 295. I was surprised by that. Spurs obviously beat Will, but Will actually, he put up some points. I think he broke 200. BP, you beat Buck your mother. Billy, BP, your game was closer than I thought it was going to be, though.
Yeah.
It was going to be a little farther apart.
Yeah, I need Jonathan Taylor to get his head out of his ass.
Yeah.
But
Peyton stays hot. Sands Troopers keeps Zach winless. Screw you, Zach. And Give Me More beats Levitard Lobos.
Give me more.
Oh, that one looks good. That one looks real good. Peanut Butter Cup beats Third Leg. And then Billy, my guy. Hey, did we all pick him to win this one, by the way, last week?
I think
I
did.
I know I did. I felt good about it. Proud of you, Billy. He's got a pretty good team. Like, for what he started with, his team's competitive.
Yeah, it's very surprising to see because I don't think anybody was expecting it. So, yeah, congratulations, Billy. All right.
If you look at projections for this week, he's projected he's like 180 or something like that. So he's back to being competitive, which is crazy.
Maybe we'll see another Billy Bowl in the playoffs.
I sure hope so. Those are fun.
Me too. All right, going on to your notables for week 4. Excuse me.
Whoa! Before notables, let's just talk about how you're getting absolutely spanked, dude.
I figured I'd skip that.
Dude, you're flirting with under 500. You better get your shit together, man.
I'm only 7 games behind. We're all right. There's a lot of season left to go. A lot of season.
You can be a good fantasy football player, like I said in week 2, but I am a god tier picker. All right, just admit it. I may go 3-10, but anyway.
This is the only record you care about.
That's right, because it's on YouTube.
All right, so now we're going to move on to our notables for week 4. So big things happened in week 3. Of course, we had a lot of crazy injuries. Some of the most common ones you've seen. I mean, Tua hurting his back, and he has an ankle injury.
Real quick. I just want to say, why didn't you put concussion on there? We all know that's what that is. They are lying to us. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Waddle, one of his receivers, of course, going down with a groin injury, questionable for week 4. Mac Jones exited the last play of the game on a high ankle sprain. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. Joe Mixon, he wasn't put out during the game, but he did leave after the game with a sore ankle. Hasn't practiced much this week, but he is questionable for week 4. Look to see him play in week 4. Michael Thomas, same boat. He got a toe injury in week 3. Not looking to be too serious. Jarvis Landry, they thought he had a high ankle sprain, but it turned out it was just a minor foot injury, so it looks like he's going to be playing week 4. Amon-Ra St. Brown, same deal with him. They thought it was going to be a lot more severe than it was. Just ended up being a minor ankle injury, so we'll look to see him again in week 4 as well. DeAndre Swift and Dalvin Cook, both out with shoulder injuries. Dalvin Cook has had a history of taking a few weeks off after injuries because he is injury prone. So I don't know if he's going to suit up next week or not. It's doubtful is the status they're giving him as of right now. Same with DeAndre Swift. So both of these guys might be hitting the bench. They might be looking for a handcuff this coming week. David Montgomery, he's got an ankle injury. They're thinking it's a low ankle sprain, and then they have also an MCL sprain, which makes him on the doubtful list as well for week 4. So a lot of changes here. Lineup's going to need to come this week. Make sure you're checking on your injuries. It could affect a lot of scores this week, actually. A few big players in there. All right. All right, Eddie, you ready for game of the week?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get going. Game of the week, week 4. All right. So this is going to be a big rivalry, guys. I don't know if you know the history between these two teams, the beef that comes along with all the history. It's going to be the Spurs, Cam, and Steel Curtain, which is Cody. So these guys have a long time trash talking history between these two. I'm sure they've both Hall of Fame GMs. They're both having somewhat slow start to their season, but I mean, it's always a good one to watch the shit talking that goes on with this one right here. So I'm excited to see this one. Eddie, you want to go ahead and start breaking it down for us and see what we can expect?
Yeah. All right. So obviously, I'm Team Cody this week. Fuck you, Cam. I'm here for the beef. Although Cody's been a little. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just haven't seen much from him in the chat this year. Hopefully he beats the shit out of Cam and that gets him going. But at quarterback, let me pull up my MFL app. That slide's kind of hard for me to read. I got bad eyes. So we know that the Spurs has Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers, duh. So Spurs has Trevor Lawrence. Steel Curtain's got Aaron Rodgers. Trevor Lawrence has got Philadelphia. Got shutdown defense so far this year. Aaron Rodgers going against New England, also a good defense, but I'm going to trust the GOAT, one of the GOATs, over Trevor Lawrence. I know the Jaguars are hot, but I think Philadelphia shuts down Trevor Lawrence, and that I think they shut down that Jaguars offense as a whole. So I'm going to lean Aaron Rodgers in that matchup. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers as well. I mean, the Packers looked really good in the last game. Honestly, I was kind of doubtful on Trevor Lawrence. He is picking up a lot. I will say that he's starting to prove me wrong, but I mean, I got to trust Aaron Rodgers in this one. I don't see any way to take Trevor Lawrence unless he has some major breakout games. He's not on the top of my list yet, so I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers in our quarterback matchup.
I will say too, like to add on to that, like Trevor Lawrence hasn't faced a top 15 defense yet this year, like passing defense. And right now Philadelphia is ranked 6th. This could be a game where he could prove himself, or he could show us that he's really like not that good yet. But I think since he hasn't played that great of a passing defense yet, I got to take Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I have to agree there. All right, at running back, we got the Spurs with Derrick Henry and the Steel Curtain starting Travis Etienne. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be starting Travis Etienne. I would like to see him start Josh Jacobs after last week. Josh Jacobs really got rolling. It looked like he got, I think, up to 100 yards, I think. Yeah, 97 scrimmage yards. So, I mean, he looked really good in the last week. I want to see him start Josh Jacobs, but if he does go with Travis Etienne, I think either way I'm going to take Derrick Henry in this one.
I agree. I so I think I know I have James Robinson as my starting back, but I think I'm trying to follow Cody's train of thought here, and I agree with him if he's thinking that Travis Etienne's the better back. I do agree, but they seem to be using James Robinson a lot more. It's been more effective for James Robinson early. So yes, I would like to see him start the running back. That's a clear-cut starter in Josh Jacobs. Um, I think Etienne will be that guy, but he's not that guy yet. So I also got to lean Derrick Henry.
All right. Michael Thomas, wide receiver for the Steel Curtain, excuse me. We see he has that injury. We talked about the toe injury. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out this week. On the bench, he has Sky Moore for Kansas City. Sky Moore is not looking too good. If you go look at his scoring, he had no targets last week and he muffed a punt. So let's hope Michael Thomas is good to go. We can only assume that Devontae Smith is going to put up some more big numbers like he did last week. Says he's got a back issue and he's questionable. Didn't make the injury report that well, but
he was just limited today at
yeah.
practice, but he should be good to go.
Yeah, so I'm going to take Devontae Smith in that one. I mean, even if Michael Thomas is healthy, Devontae Smith put up huge numbers last week. He seems to be catching his stride with Jalen Hurts. So, yeah, I'm taking Devontae Smith.
I am taking Devontae Smith as well in this matchup. I like Michael Thomas a lot. He's like Jameis. He seems to be back in vintage Michael Thomas mode. Jameis is targeting him enough, but I just don't see that. I just don't trust the New Orleans passing offense at the moment. I know Jameis Winston can sling it, but he's still dealing with that back injury. Didn't look great against Carolina, so I'm just going to lean Devonta Smith here. Not by a lot, but I'm going to lean Devonta Smith. Defensive line, the Spurs are starting to force Buckner. He's also questionable. A lot of people not practicing on Wednesdays, huh?
Must be going to church.
Yeah. He's been solid. He's been 26. He's 26, 2020 this year. That's not as high as we usually expect from him. And then Steel Curtain's got Von Miller, who after a surprising week 1 has been doo-doo buns. So I'm just gonna go DeForest Buckner there.
Yeah, I mean, we were all expecting Von Miller to go crazy this year. I mean, after he started off great in week 1, like you said, it's really been depressing to see his fantasy scores so low because I've been watching him play with the Bills and he's looking really good. He's just not quite getting to the quarterback. And you can see that he's trying to be his old self and he looks really sharp out there. It's not quite enough. It's not quite enough. I guess that's what happens when age gets to you.
Look at who he's trying to track down this week.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah, I don't know if he gets to Lamar this week.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, I'll take DeForest Buckner in that one. At linebacker, we have Eric Kendricks. This is probably the best matchup of the week right here for this one. Eric Kendricks going against Roquan Smith. Both of them really solid options. Roquan Smith is a beast, although he is dealing with a quad injury. It's showing he didn't practice today, but I think I'm still going to take Roquan Smith. If he plays, Roquan Smith is going to get more points than Eric Kendricks. Eric Kendricks is solid, but he seemed to be the more safe guy this year. Roquan is showing that he needs to get paid. Pay the man.
Trade the man. I'm going to go with Roquan Smith as well. He's playing the Giants, who are going to run the ball a lot, and he's going to be there to stop that run over and over and over again. And plus, to me, Roquan Smith is like the most valuable linebacker in fantasy to have right now. So I'm big on him. I'm going Roquan Smith. At safety, it looks like we got Deshaun Elliott for the Spurs. He's been pretty average, right at your high 20s, low 30s guy. And then Steel Curtain, he's flexing a safety, but I'll just talk about his first one is Talanoa Hufanga. I don't know who that is, but he's gone 66 against Chicago. 34 at Seattle, 18 last week against Denver. But it's hard. It's hard to rack up tackles against. Did you watch that San Francisco Denver game? That's the most boring football game. I fell asleep.
Yeah,
Like I
me too.
literally fell asleep.
I literally fell asleep as well.
That is
Yeah,
the
it
most
was.
boring football. Watching Denver play.
Yes, it is.
I have no clue. Let's look at matchups against the Rams. I'm gonna go Hufanga because he's playing against the Rams and they'll throw it around. Maybe he'll get some tackles in the secondary. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, Deshaun Elliott's been kind of consistent.
yeah, fair enough.
Hufanga's been boom or bust. Looks like. I would feel more comfortable taking Deshaun Elliott just because he looks like he's found his niche and pretty much guaranteeing 30 or 28.
Right.
I'll take Deshaun Elliott in that one.
Okay.
All in all, I mean, neither one of them are going to be your game changers, I don't think. All right, but your game changer will be flex option this week. It's either going to be Christian McCaffrey, who is dealing with a quad injury. Did not practice today. What do you think Christian McCaffrey's outlook is looking like?
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm as a Panthers fan, I am just like not surprised that he's hurt, but I don't think it's serious. The way the articles are worded is that he's bothered by his thigh, so I think he'll play, and I think Cam will start him. But they're not utilizing him like you know when we say CMC is the greatest fantasy player of all time, we said that is because the past 5 years he's been the entire Panthers offense, and they're not using him like that right now at all. And they need to compete in games. I know they want to keep him healthy, but they got to find a balance where he's involved more, or else it's going to be a long season for the Panthers, and Christian McCaffrey may not be a top 10 running back, which is sad because he has the talent. Like, he is like one of the most talented players in the NFL. They're just not utilizing him like they should right now. He's going up against Terrell Edmonds at flex for Steel Curtain. He's been underwhelming, if I should say so myself. I mean, I'm still gonna lean CMC. I hope they use him against Arizona. As a Panthers fan, that's just gonna be a homer pick for me. I'm going CMC.
Yeah, I mean, if Christian McCaffrey plays, I think we all have to choose Christian McCaffrey. I don't think it's really a question. I will say that if Christian McCaffrey plays, given that his output this year hasn't been what it has been in the past, Steel Curtain could choose to flex a different player. I mean, I know Terrell Edmonds is showing your safety potential as a good player, but as far as giving you the output, I think Josh Jacobs might be a good flex option for him.
I was just thinking that, like, if he's that high on ETN to start him at running back, start them both. See what happens.
Yep, I agree there.
It's not like Terrell Edmonds is going to drop 60. I mean, he may, but he hasn't so far. So,
because based on the production of Josh Jacobs, I mean, if Christian McCaffrey is limited any more than what they're already abusing his talent with, I mean, it could be a similar producing game. I mean, Christian hasn't put up 30 but one time this year, so.
Yeah. All right. So, what are you thinking, man? What are you thinking? Who takes this?
I think I'm gonna take. This is a tough one. I think I'm gonna take Cody in this one. Honestly, I mean, I know he's got some ups and downs. I'm liking his defense and Aaron Rodgers. Man, that is a tough one. I think I am gonna take Cody. I think your game changer is gonna be how does Christian McCaffrey play. If McCaffrey shows up, it's going to be the Spurs. If he doesn't, Cody takes this one marginally.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cody. The last 2 weeks, Aaron Rodgers is starting to heat up. You know, he does this every year. You're like, is he, like, after week 1, you're like, oh my God, is Aaron Rodgers, like, is he ready to retire? And then by week 4, you're like, oh, he's that dude. He's starting to heat up again. Yeah, I'm going Steel Curtain. And, yeah, I have no rhyme or reason, but except Cam can F off.
All right. All right, we're going to move on to rest of the... So who are we looking at first? Eddie, you want to take the first one?
Yeah, man. Looks like we got Begged for G-Reg versus Burrow's Body Count. This one, so I think Burrow's Body Count might be the best 0-3 team in the league. I mean, there's only 2 of them, but like he's not an 0-3 team. Like, if you know what I mean. He's got some talent on that roster. So breaking it down, we got Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow. Both of them super studs. Unfortunately for you, Zach, Josh Allen's the greatest fantasy quarterback on the planet ever. Then at running back, we got Jonathan Taylor questionable. He said he's for BP. And then Burrow's Body Count has James Conner. He's questionable as well, tending to a knee injury. James Conner's had a slow start. I thought he'd have higher production, given that Chase Edmonds isn't there anymore. But that hasn't been the case. And Jonathan Taylor's not been MVP Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to lean Jonathan Taylor just because of the upside is higher there. At wide receiver, we got Alan Lazard, who last week against the Bucks, he looked like he's turning into Aaron Rodgers' number 1 option. That's for Beg for G-Reg. And then at Burrow's Body Count, we got Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, I'm trying to look at his stats. My phone doesn't want to cooperate. I remember he had that big week 1. Okay, here it is. He's been 56, 17, 24 going against Miami. Miami's pass defense has not been great this year. I think I'm going to lean Jamar Chase in that one. Defensive line, we got Gregory Rousseau for Burrow's Body Count going up against Baltimore. Beg for G-Reg has Sam Hubbard. I'm not huge on Sam Hubbard, so I'm gonna go with Gregory Rousseau.
I like Rousseau better anyway.
Yeah. And then my phone just crashed. Give me 1 second. How you doing today, Billy? You doing good? Give me 1 second. We're getting there.
I'm doing good.
Crashed, bro. Oh my god. All right. Oh, linebacker, Bobby Okereke for Beg for G-Reg versus Kamu Grugier-Hill for Houston for Zach. I was a huge Kamu fan going into the season. He has underperformed. He went 67 and then 16-10. That sounds kind of like what Kamu's going to do. He's going to be kind of up and down. Bobby Okereke's been not great either. Wow, what are the matchups looking like here? Tennessee for Bobby Okereke. Oh yeah, I'm going Bobby Okereke. He's gonna be there to take down Derrick Henry and have Derrick Henry roll over him a few times. At safety, Beg for G-Reg has Budda Baker going up against the absolutely half-dead Baker Mayfield. Burrow's Body Count has Kenny. Oh, he's starting Kenny Moore. Against Tennessee. Golly, I'm going Budda just because the interception potential is there. However, Peyton made a great point in LCC After Dark this week. He said Baker's been so bad and the offense has been so bad. They've been 3 and out for more than half of the game. That may not be a good thing for Budda Baker, just because there may not be tackle opportunities if Baker's just throwing it out of bounds 3 times in a row on accident. But even with that said, I still think Budda Baker wins that matchup. And then we have flex Xavier McKinney for Beg for G-Reg versus Ernest Jones going up against the run-heavy San Francisco 49ers. I think I'm going to lean Ernest Jones there. All that being said, I think I'm going to take... Golly, man. I think Alan Lazard has a good game again. I think Josh Allen does what he does. I think Jonathan Taylor finally breaks out. I think Jonathan Taylor breaks 40 this week. I think BP's offense is too much for Zach to handle. Going BP.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because Zach's team is really good, and I don't know how he's 0-3. I mean, even his bench players are really good. I mean, Nick Bolton, Nazir Adderley, Bradley Chubb. All those players are
Yeah, the
notable
fact that he's not
players.
starting Nick Bolton is crazy to me. Why do you think he's doing
You're
that?
not
Is it
supposed
like
to say anything. Shh.
Zach? If you're listening, start Nick Bolton. Like, I
Damn
think
it.
maybe he thinks again. I don't know. Maybe he thinks Kamu's gonna have a big week again. I don't know what exactly he's thinking. But sorry, Zach, please start Nick Bolton, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take myself in this one. I mean, like you said, I hope my offense really comes out this week. I like Zach's team a lot. Zach has a stout team. Gosh, yeah, I'm gonna take myself in this one just because my matchups are a little bit better in my opinion. Um, as Zach has a lot of question marks. I mean, so do I, but Zach has quite a few. Like James Conner is a big question mark. Gruger Hill is a question mark. Kenny Moore is a question mark. I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of those players, you know. So, with that case, I'll take myself.
By the way,
All right.
Billy, I'm keeping track of our predictions since neither one of us seem to be on the same page about that.
Great. All right. Moving on to Roblox Leprechauns versus Peanut Butter Cup. So if Peanut Butter Cup, if Peanut Butter Cup wasn't game of the week last
Jesus,
week,
dude, that
this
fucking annoyed me last week. What? Where did that start?
it's Zach. That's where it
Such a
started.
fucking idiot.
But if Peanut Butter Cup wasn't game of the week last week, this probably would be game of the week this week. Honestly, it was a very close one. We just had to stick with the rivalry of the Spurs and Steel Curtain. But anyways, what we have to expect out of this one, we got Lamar Jackson going up against Tua Tagovailoa. So this is gonna be a great quarterback matchup. Other than the fact that Tua is hurt, that's the main thing we have to go kind of set aside, keep in the back of our minds. Tua might not have the best performance in the world, so I'm going to take Lamar in this one. Well, besides, Lamar's been playing out of his mind. Dalvin Cook, who is questionable, going against Joe Mixon. I'm going to take Joe Mixon because I don't think Dalvin is going to play. Just off recent history, I've been a Dalvin owner for the last 2 years. I know how it happens. Whenever he gets an injury, he's out for weeks. Hope you got a handcuff handy. Cooper Kupp going against Cortland Sutton. Shut up, Cooper Kupp. Myles Garrett going against Josh Allen, the defensive end. I like Myles Garrett, although Myles Garrett has not been so stellar the last couple weeks. He is going against Atlanta.
Hey! Before we even talk about we got to make sure Myles Garrett is even gonna play. You see that car accident he got in?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he's fine. He walked off, but you got to think maybe he's sore. I don't know. Hopefully he's at 100%. It's a miracle that he's not hurt.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. Continue.
I'm liking Josh Allen in this one, honestly. Even if Myles Garrett plays, I mean, Josh Allen had a down week last week. He was playing the Chargers. The Chargers have a really good offensive line. Justin Herbert gets rid of the ball quickly. I know he's going against Jalen Hurts, but at the same time, Philadelphia doesn't have the best offensive line in the world. He's going to rack up some tackles because they like running it with Miles Sanders. So I'm liking Josh Allen in this one, the defensive end. Let's see. For a linebacker, we have Jordan Brooks for Roblox Leprechauns going against Logan Wilson. Jordan Brooks has obviously taken over in Seattle. He's the fill-in for Bobby Wagner. They no longer needed Bobby. Jordan Brooks is doing a great job. Logan Wilson, however, is not doing so bad himself. He had a down week in week 2. They came back, bounced back against the Jets last week. I'm honestly gonna take. I think I'm gonna take Jordan Brooks in this one. I mean, he's week in week out getting the same score, 30 or better. I mean that's acceptable, and he's going against Detroit. So I mean, a lot of opportunity there to get some tackles. They're doing short passing game. I know DeAndre Swift might not might not play, but still think he's going to rack up some tackles there. So I'll take Jordan Brooks. Jalen Petrie for the Roebuck going against Cameron Curl. Cameron Curl came back last week. Got going against Dallas this week. I'm gonna take Jalen Petrie. I mean, he put up 72 last week against Chicago, and he's going against a passing offense in week 4. So yeah, I'll take Jalen Petrie in that one. And we got for flex Minka Fitzpatrick going against Julian Love. So Minka has been up and down, of course. Week 1, week 2, pretty good. Week 3, not so much. And Julian Love has been playing pretty good recently. He got 48 and 50 back-to-back weeks. In this one, I'm honestly going to go against Minka and take Julian Love. I'm liking Julian Love. He's been looking good. I watched him when he played Carolina week 2. He's all over the place. He's disrupting plays. Taking Julian Love.
Yeah, I think Julian Love is kind of taking over Logan Ryan's job there in New York as being like that guy.
Yep, I agree with that. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna take Peanut Butter Cup in a slight victory here. I think it's gonna be like a close one, 10 to 15 points, but I'm taking Peanut Butter Cup.
I'm not sure how Tua's going to be feeling, especially with the quick turnaround Thursday night. Don't think he plays well. Plus, Roebuck's running back and his quarterback play on Thursday, and we know the Thursday curse is real, so I'm taking Peanut Butter Cup.
Nice. All right, moving on. Go ahead, Eddie.
All right, sorry, I'm just writing down our scores because we will forget. All right, we got Afternoon Delights versus Step Bros Fantasy Company. At quarterback, we got Patrick Mahomes versus Marcus Mariota. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes. At running back, Afternoon Delights got Nick Chubb versus David Montgomery. I'm going to take Nick Chubb. This is easy. At Afternoon Delights, it's rocking with DJ Moore versus Christian Kirk. I don't care that Christian Kirk is playing the Eagles, and I know I said earlier Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle, which means that Christian Kirk is going to struggle because of the associative property. But even if he scores 10, he will outscore DJ Moore. Khalil Mack is defensive end for Afternoon Delight versus Aiden Hutchinson, who had a monster week 2. Didn't play in week 3. Or he did play. He did play, but he's got 0. Interesting. I'm gonna lean Khalil Mack. He's kind of like been boomer. He's been boom and then average. So I like Khalil Mack. I like his matchup against Houston. He's gonna break David Mills' ribcage. At linebacker, Afternoon Delights got Devin Lloyd. Does he have 2? I think he has 2 interceptions this year at linebacker, which is crazy. And then Step Bros has Shaq Thompson. Golly, I think I don't know. I just don't know if Shaq Thompson is a great fantasy producer. He's a great player for sure.
He has been in the past, but
yeah, I don't know.
Recently, it's been rough.
But in 2021, he only averaged 29. Like, he's never been a huge guy. And then in 2020, he averaged 25. So, just not huge on Shaq Thompson from a fantasy perspective. As a Panthers fan, I love him. But I'm taking Devin Lloyd. At safety, we got Von Bell for Afternoon Delights versus Adrian Amos for Step Bros Fantasy Company. Adrian Amos has not played well. Von Bell has had 2 back-to-back 40-plus weeks going up against Miami. Tua may be shaky. Maybe they go with a backup. Maybe they throw a pick. I'm going to go Von Bell at flex. Afternoon Delights got Rashad Evans for Atlanta. Excuse me. He's going up against the #1 rushing offense in Cleveland. I think he gets some tackles and has a good game. I think that's a good flex start. And then Step Bros is flexing Max Crosby, who's an absolute stud, but I will not trust a defensive line flex. So I'm going to lean Afternoon Delights in the
Even
flex.
with 46, 22, and 60?
Nope. Don't trust it. Nope. Because of that 22. Like, do you think that? I mean, obviously Rashaan Evans is capable of 22. He's gone 24, 16, 48, but he's a linebacker playing against Nick Chubb. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm gonna lean Afternoon Delights in this one by 40.
Yeah, I got the same thing. Afternoon Delights. Yep, he's taking this one. And I like the pickup for Rashaan Evans. That was nice. He must have paid more than me.
You tried?
Yep. All right. Next we got Give Me More versus Lost in the Sloth. All right. So, at quarterback, we got Kyler Murray for Give Me More going against Baker Mayfield.
I was so close to dropping Baker in the. I still may do it, by the way. He might not be my quarterback on Sunday.
Who do you get?
Davis Mills might be my quarterback.
Oh, God. Get Carson Wentz. Is he still available?
No, Shuttlecox has him.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So, yeah, Kyler Murray. On to the next. Jamal Williams versus James Robinson. So, this is a good one. Jamal Williams showed up last week against Minnesota. Excuse me, guys. Jamal Williams showed up last week against Minnesota. Similar defense this week against Seattle. Seattle run defense is okay. James Robinson, though. Liking James Robinson. I'm going to take James Robinson this one. He's been the consistent guy. He's put up 100 yards again. Let's go Marquise Brown for Give Me More. For Lost in the Sloth versus Travis Kelce for Give Me More. Marquise Brown has put up pretty good numbers last week, and he's playing Carolina this week. Carolina's defense has been pretty stout, honestly. Not so good against the run, but against the pass. What is Carolina's defense ranked against pass? Do you know?
13th.
13th. Yeah. So.
And you're right. They're only 20th against the run. Not great.
Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna say for this one, I'll take. Ooh, man, this stuff. Travis Kelce playing against Tampa Bay. Yeah, I'll take Marquise Brown in that matchup. Defensive line, we got DeMarcus Lawrence going against Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett's done decent. He did have the goose egg week 2. DeMarcus Lawrence is questionable. Did not practice last week, but he did have 3 sacks in the last game against the Giants. And this week he's going against Washington. So I'm going to say DeMarcus Lawrence in this one. Carson Wentz has a tendency to fumble. So possible really big game for DeMarcus Lawrence this week. Linebacker for Give Me More, we got Foye Oluokun versus Cole Holcomb. So Foye Oluokun he's got off to a really slow start this year. I mean, I know first game and last week he's got 30. In my opinion, just watching the games, MFL just crashed. In my opinion, watching the games, Miles Jack is getting a lot of the attention. I know that the scoring is kind of similar between those two, but it's hard to tell what Foye is capable of. Cole Holcomb for Lost in the Sloth put up a 31 last week. Going against the Dallas offense, there's no telling what they're going to throw at him with Cooper Rush at quarterback. I haven't got a chance to watch Dallas play last week. Eddie, did you watch any of the Dallas game last week?
Yeah.
How are they
Cooper
looking
Rush.
as far as?
Oh, how are they looking?
Yeah.
Cooper Rush looks like a perfect game manager. He's making throws when he needs to, and they weren't. I thought they would lean more on the run, but Cooper Rush has been playing pretty well. It's been kind of a balanced offense with him. I like the way they look, actually.
Okay. Well, that gives Cole Holcomb a chance to get tackles just about all over the field if they are throwing the ball. I'll take Cole Holcomb in that matchup, honestly. Just because I'm so worried about what Lewican's doing. At safety, we got Chuck Clark for Baltimore. He's been doing pretty good this year. Going against Mike Edwards. Mike Edwards has also been doing pretty good this year. In this matchup, I'll take Mike Edwards just because Kansas City is going to be passing the ball a ton. I know Chuck Clark is going to be playing Buffalo, who also passes the ball a ton. So honestly, this is going to be a pretty even matchup for these two. If I had to choose a winner, I'll say Mike Edwards just because of the week he had last week. He's getting tackles everywhere, but Chuck Clark is going to be really good this week too. Flex, we got Pete Werner for Give Me More, who has been a solid waiver wire pickup for Jameson. And we have Jalen Ramsey flexing for Austin the Sloth. I'm going to take Pete Werner in this one. He's just been Mr. Consistent, and until he proves me wrong, excuse me, sorry about that. Until he proves me wrong, I'm going to take Pete Werner.
Gee, hold on. Someone just banged on my... Asia!
Alrighty then. So for this one, we're going to take Give Me More. I'm not sure what Eddie's taking. I don't know what happened in there, but yeah, we'll take Give Me More in this one. So moving on to the next, we have Protect the Booty versus Levitard Lobos.
Oh my... Asia was banging on the wall. Continue. Oh, I thought someone was trying to break in our fucking house.
What's going on YouTube?
Oh my god.
All right. Who do you pick to win your game?
Dude, I like Give Me More's team a lot better than mine right now. My matchups are not great. I don't like Hollywood Brown against Carolina. Don't like how slow Cole Holcomb's been to start. Last week he had 9 tackles, 9 combination tackles. So he's getting there. But with that being said, I'm picking myself.
I hate my team. I'm picking myself.
Yep. Give Me More scary, but if I win this game, I may be leading. Oh, by the way, if I win this game, I'll be at 500 for the first time since I've been in this league. So,
what an accomplishment!
Yeah. Did you take Give Me More, Billy, or me? Who'd you take?
Give Me More.
All right. Next matchup, we got Protect the Booty versus Levitard Lobos. Oh. Hold on one second. I'm putting down that Billy doesn't believe in me on my notes. Give Me More. Eddie. Myself. All right. With Protect the Booty versus Levitard Lobos. All right. Protect the Booty has Derek Carr. If you look at his stats, Derek Carr had a good week last week. I disagree. He had a 4-minute offense where he went from 28 points during the game to 43 just because he drove the team down to try and tie it, and he did, but they didn't get the 2-point conversion, so they ended up losing. So that was just inflated 2-minute offense stats for Derek Carr going against Matt Stafford, who has been very mediocre, and he's going up against the stout San Francisco defense. Golly, I'm going to take Derek Carr. Right now, Denver's showing as a good defense, but I don't know if they actually are. Because their games have just been so boring. No offense in their games they played. Running back, Protect the Booty has Cam Akers. Dude, he's got to find someone else. He's got to trade for a running back. Cam Akers ain't it, bro. Versus Antonio Gibson. He's going to get you like 20. Not a great running back matchup here, but I'm going to take Antonio Gibson. Wide receiver, protect the booty starting George Kittle. What? Versus golly, dude, protect the booties. His team, man. Versus Rashad Bateman. Like I thought Protect the Booty had a good team, and he does. He has some really good pieces, but like running back and wide receiver, he's struggling right now because John Dotson is his other option, who we saw last week. He's very touchdown dependent. If he's not scoring a touchdown, he's not scoring points. Versus Levitar Lobos has Rashad Bateman, or Rashad. Yeah, sorry. He's been up and down. I'm taking Rashad Bateman. Golly, neither of those are great.
Man, George Kittle does have Jimmy G back this week.
Jimmy G fucking stepped out of bounds for a self safety.
Okay.
Levitar
Continue.
Lobos at defensive line has Danielle Hunter versus Shaq Barrett. I'm taking Shaq Barrett. Decent week last week, huge week in week 2. I'm taking Shaq Barrett. Linebacker, protect the booty, has Zaire Franklin, who's been filling in a little bit or taking the role of Shaquille Leonard. While he's been out, he's been absorbing a lot of those tackles. So I'm versus Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He
Who
had
put
4
up
last
4
week.
last week.
I think he might have got hurt, but who knows? Yeah, I'm going Zaire Franklin. Protect the booty at safety, starting Donovan Wilson, who, oh my God, he might have wrecked me. Donovan Wilson might have wrecked me. He had 62 last week. Y'all, I was beating Protect the Booty by 67 going into Monday Night Football, and I literally told BP on the phone at my lunch break, I was like, unless he puts up 60 on me, I got this one in the bag. Homeboy scored 62, and I watched that game. He had a sack. He's flying all over the place. I'm huge on Donovan Wilson. And if the score change happens tonight, I'll cry myself to sleep. Versus Grant Delpit, I'm going Donovan Wilson just because that man is on a mission right now. At flex, Protect Booty has Carlton Davis. Levitar Lobos has Brandon Jones, who's questionable. Whew. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Brandon Jones just because he's a safety and not a cornerback. Golly, who do I lean? Because Protect the Booty's defense is so good, but their offense is so mediocre. Golly, but the same thing can be said for. I'm going Protect the Booty. I know it'd be an upset, but I'm going Protect the Booty.
I think I'm thinking the same thing, man. I'm Protect the Booty, like you said, running back, wide receiver. Everything else looks pretty good, but dude, you need an upgrade there. You need an upgrade. I know Cam Akers was going to be the answer, but he's not. And when Protect the Booty gets Shaq Leonard back, dude, this is going to be nasty.
Yeah,
defense.
I just hope he gets him back soon. I don't want it to be like in our division. It's not going to be too late because none of Jameson's the only guy in our division that can really light it up and go 10-3. So he may still have a chance, but hopefully he doesn't come back too late to where he's dug himself into a hole. But yeah.
All right, moving on. So we have Eastside Brawlers versus Detroit Bad Boys. So for this one, we have Eastside Brawlers got Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. That's scary. And Detroit Bad Boys, we have Jared Goff at quarterback. Oh boy. I'm taking Jared Goff in this one. Jimmy G looked like shit last week. And he does a good handoff. That's about it.
Don't get points for that.
All right, running back, we got Rashad Penny going against Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders has looked pretty good the last couple of weeks. I know last week he got hurt. It was tough for him last week. They did a lot of passing, if you watch the Eagles game at all. But Rashad Penny may have a bigger role this week, considering Travis Homer is hurt as well. You may see a few more yards, a few more touches. this might be the matchup that actually makes this game. Miles Sanders, I want to say, is going to have a bounce back week. I'm taking Miles Sanders in this one. Amari Cooper, who has been pretty good the last 2 weeks. He's picked up since week 1, going against A.J. Brown, who also did pretty good last week. Watching the Eagles throw the ball, especially to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, has been pretty entertaining. I'll take A.J. Brown in this one, although I think Amari Cooper is not going to do too bad himself. Defensive lineman, we got Brian Burns for East Side going against Deron Payne, excuse me. I'm going to take Brian Burns in this one. I think it's going to be a home pick. I know we got 0 last week against the Saints, but he played really well last year against Arizona. If you go back and look at the score, when he played Arizona last year, let's see.
He had 0.
0. Maybe it's a different game I'm thinking of then. Shit. Anyways, I'm still taking Brian Burns. I don't care what anybody says. Linebacker, we got C.J. Mosley for East Side going against Devin Bush for Detroit Bad Boys. I'm going to take C.J. Mosley in this one. He's been more the consistent guy. I like C.J. Mosley a lot.
Sorry, I just saw an Instagram post that says Cooper Rush better be careful. He's going to have to play quarterback for the Panthers. Sorry, keep going.
Oh no. At defensive back, we got Javon Holland going against Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson had a massive week last week. He's been great this year. I'm going to take Eddie Jackson. And for flex, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is hurt this week. He did not practice today. Going against linebacker Patrick Queen. I think if Amon-Ra St. Brown's, I'm taking Amon-Ra St. Brown. If he plays, I'm taking him. If he doesn't play, of course, Patrick Queen, because I don't like any of the flex options that East Side has. Alex Highsmith's been okay. I mean, honestly, not too bad, but he is very sack dependent for a defensive end. Everybody else, I don't really feel comfortable flexing. So, I mean, you could flex Frankie Louvu, I guess. Yeah, I'll say in this one, I'm gonna take East Side, honestly, over Detroit Bad Boys. What do you think?
I'm going East Side as well. All right, let me write that down. East Side versus Detroit Bad Boys. Eddie, East, Billy, East. I don't even know if we've disagreed yet. We haven't. Oh, just on my game. All right. So Jiu-Jitsu Jesus versus the third leg. Jiu-Jitsu Jesus has Justin Fields' ass versus Jalen Hurts. I'm going Jalen Hurts. Running back third leg has Alvin Kamara. Jiu-Jitsu Jesus has Kareem Hunt. God, Calvin Kamara hasn't looked good, but Kareem Hunt. Golly, I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara. Hopefully he has a good week. I don't know. I just don't like Nick Chubb is just that dude there. Like Kareem Hunt's talented, but third leg at wide receiver has Tyreek Hill. We don't know who his quarterback's going to be. Had 8 last week whenever, Tua got hurt and then came back. It just wasn't a great thing. Versus Deontay Johnson. He's been the only guy producing for the Steelers. Going up against the Jets defense. Jets defense is about middle of the pack. I'm going to go just Deontay. Oh, God, no. Golly. I'm going Deontay Johnson. Jiu-Jitsu Jesus has Aaron Donald, defensive line. He finally broke 30, had 40 last week going against Vita Vea. I don't like Vita Vea. I'm going Aaron Donald. Linebackers got Kaiser White for Jiu-Jitsu Jesus versus Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons had 2 against the Giants. I think he bounces back against the rival Washington. Has a really, really good game. I'm going to go Micah Parsons. At safety, we got Jonathan Abram, who surprisingly had a bad week last week. I didn't expect that. Against Andre Cisco for Jacksonville. Don't know who that is, so I'm going to go with Jonathan Abram. Flex, Jiu-Jitsu Jesus has Alex Singleton for Denver. he's been not great this year to start the year with Denver. He was better with the Eagles. They haven't utilized him well in Denver versus Richie Grant. Richie Grant's been hit or miss. I'm still going to go Richie Grant. I got third leg with an upset here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take third leg as well.
God damn.
I mean, the offensive firepower is there. The defensive firepower is there. There are a couple players that are iffy, but I think all in all, third leg has the more boom or bust potential, and I think he's going to boom this week.
All right, your turn.
All right. We have Guardians of the Gridiron versus Buck Your Mother. So the team that beat me 2 weeks ago and the team that I beat last week, going against each other in the division matchup. Of course, we got Guardians of the Gridiron starting Kirk Cousins at quarterback, going against Buck Your Mother, who has Jameis Winston at quarterback. So, in this one, I think I'm going to take, with Kirk Cousins playing against New Orleans, it's hard to tell what Kirk Cousins will do. I like Jameis Winston. He is playing Minnesota. I think I'm going to take Jameis Winston in this one. I know last week, even though Carolina won the game, Jameis Winston still put up 37. I watched Jameis Winston. He's still a passing quarterback. They're a pass-first offense, of course. They utilize all their downfield weapons. I'm taking Jameis Winston. I got Aaron Jones for Guardians versus Jeffrey Wilson for Buck Your Mother. I like the way Jeffrey Wilson is being utilized in the San Francisco offense. I don't think San Francisco is doing the best in the world as a team unit, but I do like the way they are using Jeffrey Wilson. I'm going to take Jeffrey Wilson in this one. I do not like Aaron Jones. He's such a boomer bust player. He scares the hell out of me. The last time I said that, he put up 55. But that's besides the point. Stephon Diggs going against Jalen Waddle. With Tua being hurt, Jalen Waddle being hurt, I'm taking Stephon Diggs in this one. I mean, Stephon Diggs obviously didn't have the best week last week, but he's still going nuts this year, and I'm excited to see what else he can do. We got Nick Bosa going against Matt Judon for defensive lineman. Matt Judon's been doing okay this year. Nick Bosa has also been doing okay. I like Nick Bosa in this one just because I like Nick Bosa because Matthew Stafford has had trouble getting rid of the ball this year. He's been trying to extend plays, and he's not the most mobile quarterback. He has a lot of arm talent, but not the most mobile quarterback. So I think I'm taking Nick Bosa in this one. Linebacker, we got Divine Diablo going against Miles Jack. I really like Miles Jack, what he's doing in the defense. I'm taking Miles Jack in that one. Even though Diablo is doing okay, I like Miles Jack's matchup a little better. Jarius Sneed at defensive back for the Buck Your Mother, going against Jonathan Owens. Jonathan Owens has been one of the best waiver wire pickups out of any waiver wire pickup, in my opinion. I mean, 70, 42, 45 this year so far. I mean, he's the leading tackler in the NFL. That's insane. Jonathan Owens on that one. All right, and flex, we got Kevin Byard versus the Quandre Diggs. I am going to go Kevin Byard in that matchup. So, with that being said, because of the defensive talent and the boomer bust potential on offense, I'm going to go Guardians of the Gridiron on this one. Peyton will remain undefeated at 4-0.
Yeah, man. God, I don't like Jameis Winston. Yeah, I'm going Guardians of the Gridiron here. Stays undefeated.
All right. Got that written down?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last three, I believe. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Gridiron versus Buck. All right. We got Sandstorm Troopers versus Once a Janitor. Last week, Once a Janitor showed up, scored over 200. Let's break it down. Sandstorm Troopers has Tom Brady, projected 40. I think that's just respecting the GOAT. He hasn't played well. He's gone 20, 20, 31. Once a Janitor's got Daniel Jones. I got to take Tom Brady. Javonte Williams for Sandstorm Troopers at running back versus Cordero Patterson. Cordero Patterson, I think, has a good week against Cleveland. He's had 2 weeks over 40. I'm taking Cordero Patterson in that matchup. Wide receiver, Once a Janitor's got Adam Thielen. Hate that. Versus Michael Pittman. God, he's had 46 and 22. He didn't play week 2. I'm gonna go Michael Pittman. That matchup, I don't like Adam Thielen. I'm sorry. He's not what he was 8 years ago. Jonathan Greenland as a defensive line for Sandstorm Troopers. He's been Once a Janitor has Robert Quinn. I'm going Robert Quinn. I love me some Robert Quinn. He's not started off hot, but Robert Quinn has the explosive potential to get a sack at any moment. Once a Janitor had a great waiver wire pickup of Drew Tranquil. I went back and forth on how much money to put in for him. Didn't get him. Or maybe I didn't even put a claim. I can't remember. But then he went off last week at 47. I think he continues to play well. Linebacker, he has Devin White. Oh, gosh. I'm going Devin White, Sandstorm Troopers. Safety, Sandstorm Troopers has Jeremy Chin, stud. Once a Janitor has Desmond King, cornerback. Desmond King's had 2 weeks over 30. Yeah, I'm going to have to lean Jeremy Chin, guy's a stud. Jordan Whitehead is Sandstorm Troopers. Wow, his defense is solid. I mean, Whitehead's had a slow start, but Once a Janitor's got 2 cornerbacks. What a bold play. Once a Janitor is starting 2 cornerbacks. He doesn't. God, does he want to win? I'm just messing with you, Will. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Will's team at the moment. I think he can turn it around, but not this week. I got Sandstorm Troopers.
Yep. I'm taking Sandstorm Troopers as well. Will's got a couple nice pieces, but he's going to need a few more to take down Sandstorm Troopers. I'm liking Sandstorm Troopers. Sandstorm Troopers, by the way, 3 running backs. Pretty good running backs. Just keep that in mind. Anybody who wants a running back. All right. We have
I've
the
tried.
next match.
I just don't have anything he wants, unfortunately.
Yep. All right, we got Shuttlecocks versus 295. So for Shuttlecocks, we have Carson Wentz starting at quarterback. He's been putting up great fantasy numbers. Last week he had his first down week against Philadelphia. Probably going to have a bounce back week against Dallas, even though Dallas has a pretty good passing defense. It's hard to tell what to expect out of Carson Wentz. Of course, we know the history, but it's also hard to tell about what we're going to get with Geno Smith. Geno Smith put up a total of 41 points last week, and man, I'm going to take Geno Smith in this one. Going against Detroit, I think he's got the better matchup. We got Leonard Fournette for Shuttlecocks going against Austin Eckler. Both of these guys have been pretty equivalent. Austin Eckler's had a down year, from what we can tell. Leonard Fournette has been, for the Buccaneers in general, have been struggling this year. I'll still take Leonard Fournette in this one, but marginally. Austin Eckler is due for a big game, and it may happen against Houston, but Kansas City's defense is not the best in the world. Justin Jefferson going against T. Higgins. I'm taking Justin Jefferson. Cameron Hayward going against Christian Wilkins. I'm liking both of these guys this year. I mean, Christian Wilkins has been consistent, although Cameron Hayward has always been Mr. Consistency when it comes to defensive linemen. I'm taking Cam Hayward. Linebacker, we got Cody Barton going against Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks has yet to fail us this year. I'm taking Jordan Hicks in this matchup for 295. Got Marcus Williams, who had his first return to earth week this past week, 26. But he's going against TJ Edwards, who is coming off 2 hot weeks. Jalen Thompson, who's also coming off hot weeks. I'm liking in that matchup Jalen Thompson. I know he's going against Carolina this week, and Baker has not been throwing very well, so I think he's going to have some pass breakups. He's going to have some tackles. Jalen Thompson is going to have a good week. Excuse me. And at flex, we have Harrison Smith going against TJ Edwards. So Harrison Smith's coming off a week where he was out last week. But he's looking to come back this week and put up some more big numbers against New Orleans Saints. The flex for Shawcox is TJ Edwards, who is also coming off a big week last week. He's playing Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence this week. This is going to be a tough one. This might be the deciding factor in this matchup, honestly. These are pretty even. I like the defense of 285. I like the Shuttlecock's offense. Overall, in this one, I think I'm going to take Mr. 295 marginally. And I'm not sure who Eddie's going to take. Eddie's computer just shut off. So I'm going to finish this last one out without him. But I'll post the matchup that he takes. The last two, anyway. Last matchup we have is Barnyard versus Hunter of Champions. So for the Hunter of Champions, he's got Justin Herbert, who's questionable. If Justin Herbert's plays, of course I'm taking Justin Herbert because Russell Wilson has looked god awful. Going against Najee Harris. For running back we have Najee Harris versus Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary had a pretty good week in week 3, even though they lost. I can see Josh Allen reverting back to their old offensive playing style where they're not throwing it as much to Devin Singletary, involving Zach Moss more in the offense because they're wanting to change the offense up and not do what they did last week against Miami. I'm liking Najee Harris in this one. Najee Harris going against the Jets, who has a mediocre defense. I'll take Najee Harris. Got Devontae Adams versus CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has picked it up a lot, since Cooper Rush has taken over at quarterback. I'm liking Devontae Adams in this matchup. Even though CeeDee Lamb has had a pretty good last 2 weeks, Devontae Adams is going against Denver. Denver's defense has somehow shown that they're not allowing a lot of yards. It's part of the reason why the games have been so boring to watch. I'm liking the fact that Derek Carr put together that last drive, not necessarily to Devontae Adams, but their offense found a spark at the end of the last game, and I think they got a sour taste in their mouth when they didn't get that 2-point conversion. So I'm liking the Raiders against Denver this week, and I'm liking Devontae Adams. We have defensive lineman Trey Hendrickson, put up 60 last week. Amazing job going against the Dolphins, who may have a different quarterback starting this week. We have Trayvon Walker for the Jaguars. I'm going to take Trey Hendrickson in that matchup. Linebacker, we have Devondre Campbell for Hunter of Champions going against Quay Walker. Quay Walker has been doing decent, pretty mediocre, going against Devondre Campbell, who's looking to have a pretty good year again this year. Taking Devondre Campbell in that one matchup. For defensive back for Barnyard, we have Derwin James going against Antoine Winfield. Antoine Winfield has been pretty good. He's been pretty consistent, putting up at least 30 every week. Derwin James has also been pretty consistent. I think I'm going to take Derwin James because I know he has the potential to put up bigger numbers. Although Antoine Winfield is going to have a really good game as well. And last but not least, flex, we have Bobby Wagner for Barnyard going against Marlon Humphrey for Hunter Champions. I'm liking both of these guys. Bobby Wagner, of course, hasn't put up any huge numbers, but he is averaging out about 30 a game. We're seeing the old Bobby Wagner come back in. He's not putting up, like I said, huge numbers, but he is getting those tackles and they give him up the score that we're all after is a 30. For Marlon Humphrey, he is also doing pretty good. He's averaging about 30, 35 a game right now. But he has had a couple interceptions in the last couple games, so we're gonna say he's kind of dependent on interceptions. He's going against Buffalo this week, so given that he's reliant on a passing offense to get his tackles and get his picks, we're gonna take Marlon Humphrey in that matchup. So what I have based on what we've discussed, I have Hunter of Champions taking this one. I'm gonna say Barnyard puts up a pretty good fight. He had a pretty good week last week. Um, I'm liking his team. I just don't know if it's enough to take Hunter Champions this week based on the matchups. So I'm taking Hunter Champions, and like I said, we'll see who Eddie takes in this last one as well. But Hunter Champions is my pick. All right, so that kind of wraps it up of what we have for week 4. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all your feedback. Let me know if there's anything I need to change, anything we need to add in here. If you have a sound drop that you would like us to play for your game of the week, or we'll start dropping sound drops for every time we announce your team. That is definitely a possibility we would like to do. So let us know what sound drops you would like, and if there's anything that we need to add in the podcast or take out, that'd be appreciated. We love your feedback. Thanks, guys. Good luck this week.